I want to know, what is a car chain and how is it going to change the world?
Akar in Arabic means real estate, and chain is coming from the word blockchain. Real estate is a highly regulated industry. Real estate is the most preferred investment scheme for traditional investors. Our aim was to actually digitize this as much as possible. We're also doing is that we have is a metaverse called as Akar Land. So now what happens is that when you buy a real world property, you're able to claim a metaverse property.
Okay, okay. So what do I do with the metaverse?
I could buy a small share in a Burj Khalifa, but I can start building my own Burj Khalifa on the metaverse land that I've claimed on.
Oh.
We've got three major announcements happening.
What's going on, cowboy? In this video, we have a new crypto project called a car chain, and we have Vikas, one of the minds, one of the leads behind this project. And we need to figure out, is this project a scam or is this going to take us to the moon? Look, we need to only be investing in good, critical projects, I think, that change the world. I'm done with projects that are trash projects or like dog projects or whatever. I want to see a project that changes the world. And all these crypto projects out here are claiming to do that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Aaron. I'm not your financial advisor, just a cowboy out here, just looking for that crypto. I'm trying to do research online on YouTube as well, like you. And a lot of times these YouTubers just shill coins. They don't really talk about the project. They just read the website. It's kind of crappy, you know what I mean? So what I want to do is I want to get straight to the horse's mouth, straight into the brain, like a little worm, wiggle into here and figure out, hey, what are you thinking behind this whole project here? And so I'm interviewing people, I'm interviewing the devs, and it's a win-win-win strategy. One, they get to talk about their project with passion and insight and wisdom. Two, I get to ask whatever I want. I get compensated for these videos, so I should just let you know that. But three, most importantly, you and I get the best source of information, better than even a website, better than a community dev. We get straight from the horse's mouth. And in this video, we're talking to we're talking to Vikas from a car chain. Welcome to the hot seat, Vikas.
Thank you, thank you. That's a pretty nice intro, and really fired up for that now.
Awesome, awesome. I'm excited to hear about you about a car chain. But before I get even there, I need to know about you. Who is Vikas?
I am basically a techie. I'm an engineer by profession, an MBA in finance. I work in the banking industry. I worked in the real estate sector. I worked for the telecom sector as well. But then again, there was this bug of entrepreneurship that bit me some time back, and then finally I got into the entrepreneurship phase. I had my startup. Then accidentally or non-accidentally, fell into the blockchain industry, the Bitcoin phase. Everyone has an entry point. Everyone has a story about how they entered into the crypto space. So similarly, I have one as well for my children and my grandchildren as well, how I came into the crypto space. But anyways, luckily I've been into the crypto space, but then at the same time I've also been on the part of the technology side. So understanding the whole tech space on terms of usage of the blockchain and particularly adoption of blockchain. So we run a blockchain studio where we actually do a lot of blockchain development for SMEs and little bit on the government sector as well. We've done about close to 32 odd blockchain projects in the region as well, in the Middle East region that we're talking about. We are based out of Dubai and Saudi, so that's our core area. And subsequently then, it's been last 2 years where we've been talking and we've been working about on our car chain. So we wanted to do something where the real world uses. So that's how we came into with our car chain.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're a big tech head. You've been in the space for a very long time. I love that you're thinking about your grandchildren, about passing off that Bitcoin. I have the same goals, same aspirations as well. But look, I want to know, what is a car chain and how is it going to change the world?
All right. So now coming to Akar chain. Akar in Arabic means real estate, and chain is coming from the word blockchain. So that's how we've got the name Akar chain, and that's real estate in blockchain. Now we've been working and developing on the last couple of years on this particular phase, and when there was a big boom on the tokenization phase and what real estate could offer in terms of blockchain utility and use case in blockchain. So we've always been wondering on how to get this thing, because we've seen a big gap in the industry in terms of real estate. There's a lot of problems because we faced ourselves, as in we as in company, we faced a problem when we wanted to buy real estate across the border, then registration. I mean there was a lot of problems that we faced, and we said that, I think we should work on solving this problem and getting a pure use case out of blockchain. So first of all, Akar chain, where we look at is the biggest problem areas that we face is that, real estate is a highly regulated industry, and at the same time, real estate is the most preferred investment scheme for traditional investors aside of crypto. I mean, if you talk about anyone else, if they want to do a safe investment, they would say real estate. But if you ask them that,
Of course.
is real estate really safe, then they would say that, no, we don't know, because real estate comes with its own bubbles, its own advantages, disadvantages, and everything. So real investment schemes don't really come to small time investors, they go to the institutional investors. And real estate is the only industry which is not digitized, because the only thing that you see in terms of digitization in real estate is the listing of the properties, but everything else, signing of documents, viewing the property, payment, everything is in the plain old traditional fiat type of mode. So our aim was to actually digitize this as much as possible. And what Akarshan brings to the table is basically an option to invest into real estate at early stages, and be an early stage real estate investor. I don't want people to come into their late 30s and 40s and say that, now I've got my credit line, now I've got some banks to trust me that I can take finance and go into invest into real estate. No, I want to go to those university students who just freshly graduate in their first job, rightly can buy real estate from their first salary onwards as well. So, the entry barrier to real estate does not need to be high, but it has to be low, so people can actually get in. So what we do is we break real estate into parts, into fractions, into shares, where people can buy into it, and slowly and steadily you start building up your own portfolio. So it's to term it up into simple language, I would say it's as easy as buying stocks in share market.
So a card chain is looking to get into the real estate and NFT, make an NFT about different real estate projects, development projects, and then people can then buy into them at a low barrier, fractionalizing the NFT. And so they own part of these NFTs, meaning they own part of these actual real estate, not metaverse real estate. We're talking about like real estate, right? Like
Right.
that's what a card chain is all about.
Good you brought the point about NFT, because what I want to also emphasize is that we are tokenizing real estate, but we're not doing it in the traditional format. When I say traditional format is where there are a lot of people who have tried and have been doing tokenization of real estate since last 3 years onwards. But what we are doing is not traditional real estate. What we're doing is we take the real estate, because real estate is in pure real form, we convert that into a digital asset, and the proof of ownership of that digital asset comes through the NFT. So we convert that into a digital asset, mint an NFT out of it, and then fractionalize the NFT. So when investors are investing, they're investing into these fractional tokens that are a proof of ownership of that digital asset. So that's how we are doing it. Now, apart from doing just only this, uh, what we're also doing is that we have is a metaverse called as Akar Land.
Okay.
Okay, so now what happens is that when you buy a real world property, you're able to claim a metaverse property of the
Are you
equivalent.
so are you gonna have like Dubai as like the metaverse, and I could like look around Dubai and it's gonna be scale? Like, how does that run?
Not exactly. I mean, not exactly that. On that front, I mean that's a very good idea, but we're not really doing that. What we're doing
Okay.
is, see, now in the metaverse, property prices are not stagnant. I mean, there is no way to measure on how the properties in the metaverse are being sold. So what we're doing is that the property in the metaverse is mapped to the real world. So if I'm buying, let's say for example, there's an apartment in Burj Khalifa for 1,000 square feet. What I do is I buy 100 square feet of that particular apartment as a share as my investment. So what I am able to do now is that I have now NFT, fractional NFT of that 100 square feet of the apartment in Burj Khalifa. Now I can claim 100 square feet in the metaverse in the Akkad land. So now I have two NFTs, one for the real property and one for the metaverse.
Okay, okay. So
Okay.
what do I do with the metaverse?
Now the utility on the metaverse side. So we've created a gamified version of the metaverse where you could start building by populating assets, NFT assets that you can populate on the game. Plus, at the same time, we are partnering with some gaming companies where you could utilize their assets on this particular land and then import the land on their metaverse and sell the land on their NFT marketplace, or use it in their gaming metaverse and import the land and start gaming and start building on that metaverse as well. So there are two options you could do. You could
Oh,
either take it to any gaming partnerships that we do with, or you could start building and developing it yourself with the NFT assets that we will be providing on our NFT marketplace. So for example,
oh.
I could buy a small share in a Burj Khalifa, but I can start building my own Burj Khalifa on the metaverse land that I've claimed on.
Got it. Got it. Okay, so and for anyone who doesn't know what the Burj Khalifa is, it's the world's tallest tower.
World's
Maybe the
tallest
second
tower.
tallest, something like that. It's a very, very tall tower.
Yes.
Beautiful piece of real estate. But okay, so you're saying if I buy 10%, 100 square foot of $1,000 or 1,000 square foot apartment, I can then claim it. You know, I own part of that, right?
Yes.
With the NFT, but then I also can claim 100 square feet in a metaverse
Yes.
that a car chain is developing.
Yes.
With that project, with that 100 square feet, I could develop on the metaverse whatever I want,
Yes.
or I could import that into any gaming platform or any gaming metaverse that you guys are connected to. Is
Yes.
that about right?
Yes. You've got it pinpoint right.
So
And
I'm like
now
trying to think of
the beauty
applications
is
here, right?
the
So like,
beauty is that you could get your real estate investment for free, is because now you have the metaverse land which you can populate and you can resell, and whatever investment amount you did in your real world property, you could make that free, and your real world property is now a dividend paying property to you.
so I used to play Pokemon, and
Hmm.
I bought these like little trading card games, these like cards. And if you go to like a tournament, and if you buy that card, you actually get that Pokemon in the video game.
Hmm.
I think that's what's similar to what we're talking about here. If you buy a real world asset, or at least a fractional part of the real world asset in an NFT form represented by an NFT, you actually get also the metaverse
Yes.
counterpart as well.
Yes.
That sounds amazing. Okay, that sounds amazing. And I think I 100% agree with you that real estate and blockchain have yet to really fully converge.
Yes.
But now you're converging the metaverse into this real estate as well. Like my brain is like my little lizard brain is being stretched right now as much as possible. So okay, so give me an example. If I want to walk down this road, if like me, I'm a little cowboy. How do I start? Where do I even find these properties?
Hmm.
Like, how do I even get started here?
Okay. So first of all, we are a project where we're not a paper project, and we knew that if we wanted to make a car chain successful, we want to show public the real project in itself, in its utility. So we did not we bootstrapped ourselves in such a way where we launched the product before we could even complete the token sale. Okay,
Okay.
so our IDO is not done. So we plan to do an IDO in the second week of January. But in GITEX, which was one of the world's largest technology exhibition that happened in Dubai, we did the launch of the platform. So now we have a platform live and available. So akarchain.io, people can go. You can go there. You can see real properties available. You can buy them with
Wow.
crypto assets, digital assets, and you can just wait for the sale period to get finished. As soon as the sale period gets finished, you could go to the metaverse, and you can start claiming the NFTs for the metaverse land as well.
You know what I love about this project, if you're a cowboy watching, is that so many I think I see the development of crypto projects because just 6 months ago people were launching with this hope and idea, right? And then we will develop this platform. And then here comes Vikas. Vikas, I commend you. Thank you so much because I could tell there's a lot of work put into this project, and you come here with a project, and then you're launching the IDO
Yeah.
in January. And so we're here. You're watching this early, so I'm very excited about this project. I mean, to me, it just makes sense because when you go through real estate, and I don't know, it depends on what country you're in. You have to go through a million different hands, and they have to proof that you are who you are, and you have to prove how much money you're making, and all this kind of stuff. You got to have two bills the last 2 weeks. But when you're talking about NFTs and it's like proof of ownership immediately, and then you can converge real estate with it. Fantastic idea, fantastic. How big is your team for all this?
Oh, so we have a huge team. I mean, we're close to around 19 people who are working full time on this project.
Awesome.
This is only on the development and the operation side at the moment, and we're expanding right now. I mean, we just took up a new office space in Dubai. We're just now expanding on the other space as well, and at the same time, I mean, most of our regular activities like marketing and design, all those are outsourced. We don't even have them in house. So I mean, in terms of our core team, we have a pretty huge team, and that's been working on this project since last year and a half. And our main objective was to actually the ideology was that when our token launches, at that time the utility of the token should be available on day one. So that's what we're trying to do. I mean, what we've done, that we've given the platform right now available. In fact, we've already sold properties online right now, so people have actually
What?
invested right now into and bought properties as well. So um, those are the first lucky investors who have actually come ahead and bought the properties. And at the same
So
time,
I just go on a car chain, I buy the property there.
yes.
I buy the property there, and then how does the money work? How do you guys make money then? I'm guessing there's a cut, like there's a fee or something,
So
right?
there is on the primary sale, we take a commission on, and it depends on
Okay,
different properties to different properties. So it's about
sure.
3% to 5% depending on the property ranges, affordable housing to luxury segment. And
Hmm.
this is something that the seller actually pays us for doing fractional ownership and crowdfunding. At the same
Okay.
time, what we do is we raise money from the dividends. So every property has an ROI scheme. So every property has its rental market. So whatever the rent has been collected, which 100 out of the 100%, 10% of the rent we keep as a fee to manage the property, and the 90% of the rent is divided amongst all the property owners.
Oh, so you guys own the property then?
We manage the whole property for all the owners.
Oh, okay. So we're okay. So you're now okay. You're managing the property, and it's a physical property in Dubai.
Yes, it's
You
a
have
physical property in Dubai. Yes.
yeah. And so how many properties do you guys own or manage? I should say.
No, no, no. So at the moment, we are sitting with a valuation of about close to $100 million worth of properties available with us.
What?
Yeah, we
What
don't.
in the
I mean,
world?
we don't own them, but these are the properties that have been signed and delivered with us, so that we have the right to actually go ahead and list them on our platform. So
Yeah, yeah. So you manage $100 million worth of property. These different people own it, and so what happens is I go on a carchain.io and
mhm,
I look up what property I want to fractionally own. I buy that fractionally owned property, and then I get delivered an NFT, and
mhm,
then I get also rights to claim on a metaverse.
yes.
Uh, okay,
And
so
at the
can
same
I?
time, you're also getting rent of that property. So you're getting dividends on that property. You're getting the full capital appreciation on that property whenever that happens. So, for example, if you want to sell the if you're holding the property for, let's say, 2 years or 3 years, so whatever the capital appreciation has happened on the property, you are eligible to get that appreciation whenever you're selling it.
This is blowing my mind. This is really like world changing stuff in my opinion. So
Yeah.
you're saying that if I buy 10% of this apartment
Mhm.
and who how do we go about selling it? Who sells it?
So we have an OTC desk where you can actually. So there are just like for example now you are now getting exposed to Akarchan in the very early stages. So you are getting an opportunity to be the primary buyer, but there will be people who will be coming into this ecosystem later on, and they would be wanting the piece of the same pie that you're holding, right? But you've already been holding it for let's say 1 year, and now you want to exit into a different property. So there will be a buyer who's available to buy your share of the property.
Okay.
So these
Okay.
people, so when people come in, so and at the same time, you're also looking at tying up with uh, secondary exchanges where people can actually list the tokens and second security token exchanges where people can actually trade on the secondary market.
Got it. Hmm. So then, so okay, so you have a token then, right? You have a token, uh,
Yes.
and and that's how we buy the properties. I'm
You
assuming.
can buy property with stable coins as well. You can buy property with USDT, USDC, Matic, or you could buy with the our utility token, which is AQR as well.
So I have two questions here. How do we collect the real world payment in rent? How do we collect our share
You
there?
you get it into in our utility tokens AQR. It'll be
Okay.
it's on the contract. So whatever percentage of the property you own, automatically every month that much percentage of property that much percentage of your rent would be transferred to the wallet which is owning the NFT.
Okay, got it. So who actually owns the property? Because you said if we wanted to sell, I could sell my share of it, my NFT,
Yes.
but who actually owns the property?
So
How
the
does this work
actual
in the
ownership.
real world, you know?
So in the real world, the ownership of the property is with Akar Chain.
Okay.
Okay, and Akar Chain owns the property, and that's the reason why Akar Chain is actually managing the whole property for the owners.
Okay, so it's owned by the car chain
Yes.
business or foundation or whatever. Okay, got it. So I got it now. A car chain owns $100 million worth of property. Then they, you guys fractionalized it or turned it into NFTs, and so we could fractionalize it out.
Hmm.
All right. So in the real world, like the municipalities of Dubai, the listing of the owner says a car chain.
Yes.
Okay, I thought like people come to you with their properties and you manage it. Okay, so you guys actually own the
No,
property.
because we don't want any kind of risk or any kind of loophole being made available because we don't want this property to be manhandled or mismanaged or anything of that sort. So, I mean, although I mean, in a real decentralized manner, that would have been the most ideal format to actually go ahead where we don't hold any inventory. But at the same time, real estate is a high risk and a high regulated business. So for the investors comfort zone and for the investors to have comfort, we will own the properties after the crowdfunding has happened.
So I could essentially own a piece of property in Dubai just by buying the NFTs.
Yes.
Fantastic.
By
So
the
here's
way,
the thing.
if you look at this way, Aaron, you could actually own a piece of property in Burj Khalifa in Dubai.
I would be just crazy to think of. Is there any possible way I could own 100% of it?
Oh yes, of course.
So if I buy an apartment in Burj Khalifa, can I go there and stay the night?
I mean, even if you buy 10% of it, you can still go there and stay, provided you pay the rent, which is equivalent of 90% to the rest of the people. So, if you are going to lease out, so you could still stay in the apartment, but you have to pay, I mean, not your share, but the other share you have to still pay out, right? Yeah.
But if you pay the full price, you just get it back to
Oh,
you
if you pay the full
with
price,
rent.
you go and stay there. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so where do people go and find these things for rent, like Airbnb or something?
So, we're creating a subsequent marketplace for that as well, which will be akarshin.com, which will be like a marketplace for renting properties and Airbnb, short-term leasing, long-term leasing. So when you buy a property on akarshin.io, you're not only buying property just for the sake of buying, but you are also taking decisions. So there's governance voting on the platform where you could actually take decisions on the property. So if I have a tenant who's ready to pay, let's say, $100 for that particular property on a daily basis, the owners of the property will decide whether, I think 100 is a little less, we should opt for 120. So we counter offer to the tenant that, you need to pay 120. If the deal is closed, then everyone gets $120 a day.
Got it. Okay, so what guarantees do I have here? Because if say I own 100% of this apartment in
Hmm.
Burj Khalifa,
Hmm.
and you guys decide to sell it, I have no recourse. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
I just spent a
So
lot of money.
right. So we can't sell the properties because what we do is we on the metadata of the NFT, the title deed, valuation certificate of the property, and the rental agreement are stored as a metadata on the as a metadata of the NFT, and the real original documents are in an escrow, custodized in an escrow. So there is an insurance against the escrow. So if anything happens, this the escrow agent is liable that how this property deed actually went out.
Wow. So like the real title, the real deed, the real stuff is on the NFT,
Yes.
and I really own it.
Yes.
How, I want to own some property in Dubai. I was just talking about going to Dubai and visiting you. I don't want to do that. How do I do this? Dude, this is amazing.
Yes.
Okay, let's just cut to the chase here. How do we get in this IDO? How do I get some listings for the Cowboys for myself? Like how do we get involved here? This is probably the biggest and most excited I've been for a project in a very, very long time. So how do I get started here?
Okay, so great. So I mean, if you want to buy properties, what you could do is you could go to akachain.io. You will see a few properties over there. You could go there. You could do your research on what property which fits your bill. I mean, there are different properties with different ROI schemes. Like luxury properties don't give you much in terms of return. They give you 3% or 5% in terms of return, but at the same time, affordable housings give you higher returns and they're lower in terms of price. Barrier, but in terms of capital appreciation they don't appreciate much more because the area is not that developed. It will take about 5 years, 10 years before that whole area develops into a whole downtown kind of a scheme. So you can do your due diligence in terms of what property you would want to invest into. You could go there. It's pretty simple. We have a tutorial video on our YouTube channel that how you could go and buy properties. Simple. You could use USDT, USDC, or Matic token right now to actually go ahead and buy the properties. You buy your share, and 10th 11th of January we are having our IDO on two IDO platforms, which we'll be announcing in the next couple of days. We'll be announcing very soon, so you can keep a tab on our announcement channels. You can get into the IDO and get hold of some AQR tokens. Once you get a hold of some AQR tokens, we have immediate. Okay, now by the way, when you're buying these tokens for the property, in terms of right now in the property tokens, these NFTs, fractional tokens, can actually be staked to earn rewards on AQR tokens as well. So
Oh, great.
you could
Great,
you
great,
could
great.
you could you could earn rewards from staking. You could earn dividends from the rental scheme, and at the same time you can wait for capital appreciation. That could be like in a year, 2 year, 3 year time. You could get capital appreciation. This is from the real world properties. And then when after the sale period is over, you could actually go claim the metaverse land and then start playing with it on the metaverse land as well. So I mean,
Absolutely. So I'm
your
counting like
hands
four or
will
five
be
different.
full.
Yeah, I'm counting like 4 or 5 different streams of income here,
Yeah.
or different ways to make some money here. So, which is fantastic. Hey, look, guys, if you're watching this video, you can tell I'm pretty excited about this. So I want to get involved personally. So we're gonna, I'm gonna try to get involved here. But the coins are going to be available. The IDOs, it's all going to be available early January. So be sure to check the Telegram, check their socials and stuff for that. Look, and check down in the description below. Check this out for yourself. Do your own research here, guys. Look, Vikas, is there anything left that we haven't covered here? Anything that's like a secret announcement that you've been just waiting to tell people that like it's just going to be so good to get in now because this is going to happen. What's the next thing that's like just a secret, exciting thing that you're looking forward to?
So the early people get into the properties right now is better for them is because we've got three major announcements happening. In fact, one of the announcements has already been made where we've actually had a partner, a gaming partner, DeFi 11, who've actually built, who are developing a sports gaming, prediction gaming game on our metaverse land. We're having a mobility company actually open up a racetrack on our metaverse land, and at the same time there is a virtual art gallery which is being which will be available on our metaverse land, and this is all going to be close to the land that is being sold right now. So your NFT land parcels are going to appreciate to the moon moment these partnerships are officially announced in the next 60 to 90 days approximately.
Oh, wow. Okay, good deal. I'm excited. Guys, if you're watching, check them out. Look, links are down below. Vikas, thanks so much for being with me. Check out A Card Chain. Do your own research, guys. Cowboys always ride together, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you.